Hello everyone. So for today's video, we will be discussing all about the law of demand. So for the law of demand, it states that as the price of the goods increases, demand decreases. So what is the reason behind that? When the price of a good when the price of the good increases, the quantity demand or the demand decreases. It is because the customer cannot afford the price of that specific good. So that is why the demand of that specific good decreases. In the law of demand, we have what we call as the downward sloping demand curve, right? So when we say it has a downward sloping demand curve, it means that the price and the quantity demand has a negative relationship. Why it has a negative relationship? Because of the increase in price and the decrease in quantity demand. But to thoroughly discuss and for you to be able to thoroughly understand why a demand has a downward sloping curve, let us discuss its graph. So now, let us discuss the graph of a law of demand and for you to be able to see and to understand why a law of demand has a downward sloping demand curve. So now, we have this given. When the price is 30, 1 is only the quantity demand. When the price is 10, we have 3 quantity demand. So now, this is how you are to graph your law of demand, right? When we are graphing, we are to use the x-axis and the y-axis, wherein it has positive numbers on the y-axis and the positive numbers on the x-axis. So for the y-axis, this is your price. Alright, so for the y-axis, that is your price. And for the x-axis, it is your quantity demand. Right? So when you are doing graphings and when you are dividing areas and numbers in your graphing, it should be equal. So the same as true with this. The price is 30, quantity demand is 1. And the price is 10, quantity demand is 3. So as you can see, we have 10, 20, 30. So it means that this graphing in the y-axis is divided into 10. Alright? So 10, 20 plus 10, so naging 20, then plus 10, naging 30. So that is how you are to put numbers in your graph. Now next, in the quantity demand, we have 1, 2, 3. So you can go beyond 5. Okay, you can go beyond 5 if you have extra area for that. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So now you are to make use of this given. So when the price is 30, the quantity demand is 1. So this is your point A, right? And then when the price is 10, your quantity demand is 3. So this is your point B. So this is your point A and this is your point B. So now you are to connect point A and point B. When connecting both points in your law of demand graph, you are to use the curve line. Okay? Curve. Bakit hindi siya linear, ma'am? Bakit hindi lang natin i-connect via a line, a straight line? Okay. So, when you go back to our discussion a while ago, a law of demand has a downward sloping demand curve. So, it should be a curve. It should not be a line. Alright, so as you can see, that is the graphing of your law of demand. So please be reminded that you should put always the y-axis, the x-axis, the labels, the quantity demand, and the price, and also the labels of each of the numbers, so that me as your teacher or your teachers should understand and should also know what are the numbers of your graphing, and for you to be able to understand also your graphing. So next, we are to discuss or to solve the slope. Okay, when there is a graph, there is also a solving. So now we will discuss the slope of this given price and quantity. So our formula for slope is rise over run. Okay, rise over run, because of the y-axis, it rises, and the x-axis, it runs, right? So change in y-axis over change in x-axis is equal to change in price over change in quantity demand. So that is the formula for getting the slope of demand. So when you are to solve for the slope, do not look at your alright? Do not look at your graph, look at your given. Here, you look at here, right? So when you are to put numbers in the formula of the slope, you are to look at your given. So in your given, ang nasa baba or in the lower part of the given is the number 10. Diba? So price man ang nasa babaw. So you are first to write the prices. Diba? The price 10 and the price 30. Okay, so the price 10 and the price 30. Okay, because of that triangle, this is what we call as the triangle. It means change, and when we say change, we are to subtract. Okay, when we say change, you are to subtract. That is why the 10 price less the 30 price. Over, or the denominator then, is the change in quantity demand, which means 3 minus 1. Diba? It has a change. So when we say change, it is a subtraction, or you need to subtract. Alright? So 10 minus 30. So as you can see in here, in your denominator, 10 minus 30. 30 is the biggest number, and 30 has a negative sign. So in your general mathematics, when the biggest number carries the negative sign, it will carry the negative sign on the equal side. Alright? So it's negative 20. Okay? So 10 minus 30 is equal to negative 20. And 3 minus 1. So as you can see, 3 is the biggest number, but 3 carries a positive sign. Diba? Di naman kailangan na ilagay mo pa yung positive sign. You can already see that 3, it carries a positive sign. So that is why it is 2. So when you divide negative 20 divided by 2, you will then get negative 10. So the negative 10, so as you can see, you have the negative sign. Okay, it carries all throughout, all through the equivalent of your solution, the negative sign. So negative 20 divided by 2 is equal to negative 10. Please be reminded that the law of demand has a downward sloping demand curve. It means lamang po that your slope in the demand curve always carries negative sign. Alright, so downward sloping demand curve. So I hope you understand something on today's discussion with regards to the law of demand. On the next video, we will be discussing the law of supply so that you will be able to see and to understand, and you will be able to solve the differences of the slope for the demand and the supply. Alright? So thank you very much for today, everyone. I hope you learned something. See you in the next video.